He say, basement, boxing tall. You know I'm a warrior, right? Fuck that, I'm a champion. Basement, boxing talk. Left, right, jab in the hook. Better protect your jaw. 12 rounds if you can last. Better protect your fall. I got hits like Mayweather. You hit that round of applause. No question, the problem solved. Basement, boxing talk. Left, right, jab in the hook. Better protect your jaw. 12 rounds if you can last. Better protect your fall. I got hits like Mayweather. You hit that round of applause. No question, the problem solved. I'm feeling cocky. I hit a thing to beat the ring, a booth up like I'm Rocky. ASAP, any opponent think they can stop me. I stay strapped, chop, tryna learn my moves so you can copy. You gotta give it your all. Gotta give it your all. When you're back against the wall. When you're back against the wall. When you the one people call. When you the one people call. To keep greatness involved. To keep greatness involved. Basement, boxing talk. Left, right, jab in the hook. Better protect your jaw. 12 rounds if you can last. Better protect your fall. I got hits like Mayweather. You hit that round of applause. No question, the problem solved. Basement, boxing talk. Left, right, jab in the hook. Better protect your jaw. 12 rounds if you can last. Better protect your fall. I got hits like Mayweather. You hit that round of applause. No question, the problem solved.
It's your boy Basement Boxing Talk coming to you live. And hopefully everybody weekend going great. We're gonna wait in for the panelists to show up. And we're gonna get this show started. We got a slew of things to talk about. Yes, I'm just waiting on a few guys to show up on the panel. And we're gonna get this show started. Hope everybody having a nice weekend. And everything was going great for them. This your boy Basement. And today we got a few topics we're gonna talk about today on the show. Today, a couple of different topics we're gonna talk about today on the show. And let's see. Today's topic of the show, we will be talking about what does Lopez and Fury have in common? What does Lopez and Fury have in common? That's one of the subjects that we'll be talking about on Basement Boxing Talk here today. Another topic that we'll be discussing, what's next for Fury and Wilder? Since, salute Mike 202 in the building, brother. Salute. Yeah, I'm trying to see if my panel show up today. If not, we're gonna keep on rocking, brother. We're gonna keep on rocking. But we're gonna discuss what's next for Tyson Fury and Wilder. And then I also want to go back and discuss too JoJo Diaz fight in Fortuna last night. We're gonna talk about that. And we're gonna discuss Charlo and Castano They fighting at 154. That fight will be next weekend. Tremendous fight. So we got a slew of things to talk about. And yeah, we're gonna sit up here and we're gonna get started here in the next few seconds. Salute my brother Bruce Goes in the building. Salute good brothers Bruce Goes. I ain't seen you in a minute, Bruce. Glad to see you, brother. Glad to see you, good brother. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you for coming through. Hey, hey, while we waiting on the panel to show up, man, let's just talk, man. What does Tyson Fury and Lopez have in common? That was the thumbnail for today's show. What do they have in common? And the topic of discussion is what they do have in common is they both pull the COVID trick. I'm calling it the COVID trick because before, fighters were just ducking and ducking and ducking and dodging and ducking. Now you can literally duck a fight and just blame it on COVID. It's funny how this occurs. Oh man, I sent it to you this morning. Hold on, let me send it to you again. I sent it to you in the middle of the night, bro. I promise. I just sent it to you, Black Star. Yeah. And like I was saying, it's funny how they pull this COVID trick. And then, oh man, I want to wait because I want to get the panel started. I want to get the panel going and everything. But man, here, hey, you should have the email now, Black. Yeah, it went through. You should have the email now. I sent it at 2:12 and I sent one to you at 4:30 in the morning. Yeah. Here, my good brother Black Star Sports TV.
What's going on, bro? What's going on?
What's going on, good brother?
All right. Hey, man, salute everybody in the chat too, man. Appreciate y'all coming through, man. Man, this right here, bro. I mean, hey. Oh my God, man.
Before you get to cooking, let me shout out these people that's in the chat for a minute.
Yeah, bro.
Hey, we'll start from the top. Salute to Mike 202, good brother. Salute. Hey, thanks for coming through, man. Good brother Bruce Gold. Salute to you, my brother. Thanks for coming through, man. Gary Walker. Hey, salute to you in the panel. Hey, thanks for coming through. La Madrina said, good afternoon, basement. Hey, La Madrina, good afternoon to you. Thanks for coming through. Thanks for the support. Bruce Gold said, salute to you, Black Star.
Salute, my brother.
Gary Walker said, yeah, salute to the chat. Yeah, thank you. Salute to the chat and the panel. We thank you. We thank you for coming through. Yes, sir. Hey, go ahead, get started. What you were saying now, Black? Say.
Bruh, I tell you, man, this is just
Thank you for coming through. Yes, sir. Go ahead and get started. What you were saying now, Black?
I tell you, man. Hold on, man. Wait a minute. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Tyson Fury, man. I mean, this is crazy, bro. I mean, I ain't surprised at all. But you know, if my old channel was still up and you could go back to the first video after the rematch, and I said right then, I said they're going to do everything in their power not to have the trilogy. And man, I could never have said more true words than that right there. Even on down to, even, man, I remember being in brother Ricky's live stream saying, man, I can't wait for him to play. He's going to test, he's going to pop dirty for COVID. And I said COVID specifically. So I could feel the vibe always running there, man. And then when you start hearing stuff about him getting beat up by Jared Anderson and them, you know, got dropped and all this, and then you're looking at him and they can't hide it because shit. I mean, he had the war paint on his face. You know, they was handling him, man. So, but all that in measure, you know, he wasn't ready. They know he wasn't ready, so they had to get it out, man. And it's been the thing, like brother Ricky said, man. The COVID is the new duck, man. That's their thing, man. You know, T.O. Vimo used it. You know, you got T.O., him, and Queen Ryan, and they all use the duck form in a different way. But I have to kind of say that Queen Ryan used it best, because at least he did ended up in Miami with a bikini broad. You know, at least he got that out the deal. You know, but man, I tell you, bro, something but I gotta agree with my brother T.S. Boxing, man. T.S. Boxing said the other day some real shit, man. He said, salute, brother Hayden. All right, now, good to see you, brother.
What's going on, gentlemen? Sorry about the technical difficulties there, trying to get in.
No thing, man. No thing, brother. Good to see you, man.
You too.
Yeah, brother T.S. said, man, he said, you know, PBC and them gotta really push them on this. You know, don't allow them to do this, because for one, 14 days you'll come out this COVID thing. That's what everybody's been doing. You know, I know this personally. My wife, you know, is just now recovering from it herself. You know, she said, hey baby, you know, salute to you. You know, she coming out of that thing. So I seen this, you know, happening. So, and plus brother Ricky and you know other people that we know, this is what they do. Other boxers, this is the norm. So if that's the case, that would take 2 weeks to bring us right to the date of the fight. Right to the date of the fight. Now, if you get to the date of the fight and you was feeling fine, the last 2 weeks of your training camp, the last week you ain't gonna do nothing no way. You know what I'm saying? You got a court order. This gotta take place before September 15th. This is the hole you put yourself in, because you wasn't man enough to go ahead and take the fight and let's get it out the way, the normal way, because we could have had it back in December the 5th, but you didn't choose to go that route. So it got to be some penalty in it for you. It can't be all this mercy and I feel so sorry. He got man. I don't want to hear none of that. We've been waiting for how long? How many people lost money on flights, tickets, hotels, wherever they planning to stay? They put themselves. People lost money, man. But not just a couple dollars, big money. This was a big money fight, and now everybody got to eat it. Even Vegas is upset today because they was planning on this. You know, they was counting on this to come through, and now it's sitting in limbo. And then the next date, October, man, get the hell out of here, October. What I mean, and go right back to Tito, June the 5th, all the way to October. They done moved him 3, 4, 5 times. You trying to tell me that there's no time in August that you can't move this, or can you bump it back a week? Bump it back 1 week. You know, why they couldn't do that? I'm pretty sure Vegas is upset. Vegas wouldn't make some type of concession with you because they want this fight there. They're open to say, well, okay, when do you want to do this? Okay, we'll clear it. Fuck it. We got something that day. Forget that. That ain't making no money. We can't do that over there. We're gonna have to have this. You know, something like that can happen, but they gotta put the pressure. And shout out to TS Boxer for that, because he was right on the money. Nobody else is talking that. They need to push back on it. They can't let him just keep laying down for him. Oh, we got COVID, man. Man, get your big baby ass up. You was just at some game the other day. He no shirt on, acting all wild and crazy. Everybody saw you. All of a sudden now getting close. Now, we got a couple days. Uh-oh. Come on, man. You ain't fool nobody. That's why the whole Tyson Fury fan base or whatever of Wilder haters quiet as hell. You ain't heard nothing. Been dropping around this month. But quietly it's kept though. They're not boxing fans because they enjoy this. They think this is the best get back for them. He may not have to fight him. Just retire. Don't worry about it. As long as they can keep their precious victory, man. So that tells you right there, it's more than just about boxing for them to react like that. Because me personally, if I beat somebody like that in the ring, get me back in there. That's easy money. Woo, I get it again. Let's have 2 more of these. Nah, not this guy. He don't want none of that. He don't want none of that. He went to court. I'm fighting. I don't want to do it. No. Come out and tell everybody I spend millions of dollars to get out of this arbitration. I pay millions of dollars to my lawyers and have to fight it anyway. Lose that money. You're gonna have to pay some damages to Deontay. If you don't fight, you're gonna have to retire and you're gonna have to give up that belt. So I mean, if that's good enough for him, I mean, oh man, I'm gonna let y'all get some, man, because we got more. Oh, I'm talking all up, fellas, though. Hey, man, we gotta get him. Gotta get him.
Good brother Hayden, go ahead, brother.
Hey, man. Yeah, I want to go back a little bit to when this fight with AJ was set, and we were looking at this date in the Middle East. I felt then that there may be some issues, and I said it. I don't know if you guys remember, we were talking about this on Clubhouse. But I said then I didn't understand why Deontay Wilder didn't make a deal and say, look, you guys are looking at $100 million each. And you're looking at them building a whole new stadium. That's how badly Saudi Arabia wanted that fight. So they're going to build a whole new stadium for this fight. If you guys want this to happen, pay me $40 million. I'll let it happen with a guarantee that I get the winner. That would have been free money. That would have been 40 mil in the bank right now while all these antics are going on. If there were antics, maybe they would have fought. Maybe he would have fought the Joshua fight. Maybe there would have been these COVID antics. Who knows? But he would have had a guaranteed $30-40 million in the bank for not taking a single solitary punch with a guarantee at the winner. And whoever the loser is, be that Tyson Fury maybe, he could always still call him out if he really wanted to get that smoke again. Or just say, nah, and move on to bigger and better things. Derek Chisora, Dillian White, whoever wants it next at that point. But he would have had the money and had a title fight. We may have been looking at a Wilder Joshua fight in the same stadium for the same money. So at the end of the day, he could have come out with $140 million, $150 million. So I never understood why he didn't secure some money ahead of this guy. We all know that Tyson Fury is so unpredictable, so unstable. And I was talking to another guy the other day, and he felt that I had a Tyson Fury agenda. I said, no, but we've got to look at this fairly and objectively. People do they do come up with reasons, not necessarily excuses, but they're theorizing around the antics of Tyson Fury because he has a history. He does have a history of having skin gloves or not inserting his hand in gloves all the way. He does have a history of doing unorthodox or shisty things before fights. And he does have a history of ill promotions. And so why not? Why is it so unfathomable that some of these things took place with Deontay Wilder? The more I listen to Tyson Fury speak and the more I've dug into his history, the less wild and outrageous some of Deontay Wilder's allegations are. Right?
Yeah.
I won't give him a full pass because I know Mark Breland personally, and I could never, ever, ever see him doing something so despicable and heinous. Yeah. But we don't know, when a fighter is in there and things like that have happened and it's just unexplainable to them, they're going to grasp at something. So he's looking for answers. And at this point, it doesn't matter what those answers are. But I think that he was either ill-advised or too stubborn and should have demanded money. He was in the pole position to call the shots on that fight. This fight will not happen if it's not with me, or I don't get some money to let it happen with a guarantee that I get the winner. Period.
That sounds great, but there's two reasons why that didn't happen. The first one, it has to do with AJ was never going to be a part of the guarantee. He was never willing to be a part of the guarantee.
That's fine.
And you know that kind of made it rougher. Plus, also, if they had gave Wilder credit for the first fight, which they haven't done, they keep saying that he lost that fight. Now if the referee had did the right thing and just went on wave the fight off like he should have, because the man was out, he was incapacitated. That is the goal of boxing. You put your man out, game over.
I'll give him credit for getting up.
Yeah,
but that count was a little bit stretched. Now if you do the research, the counts are always subjective. There is no correct tempo for a count. So I can't say the referee didn't do his job, but he didn't do his job.
Yeah, because I'm not even going to count. Oh, hey, he's done, bro. It's good. Hey, come get him.
Right.
You know, and I think that weighed away, because if it had been, I think his desire for get back would have been lessened, because then he would say, okay, I'm gonna sit back cool with it. I still got one. We 1-1. See, they're not giving him nothing. So now it's like the get back is very, very important now. I gotta get him. If I don't get him, I ain't got nothing.
But
they saying he's got to dominate.
He's got to be smart. You know, this guy. I hear all of these people talking about how limited Deontay Wilder is, and he's a one-trick pony, and other than his power and this and that. I don't care, because he was a world champion, and he knocked out contenders with those limits. He's with Malik Scott. I said, if he does anything different, give him some other aspect of it. You know, look how close the fight was, the first fight. Yeah, Tyson Fury went off, he trained, he did everything he had to do, and he's got years and years of experience, amateur and pro, veteran experience. So do something different. And he is. You see it in these training montages and everything. Maybe he reverts back, who knows, but he's still competitive at that level. I think he should have been smart about it and played a little bit of the psychological game, but also held up the fight and gotten paid. This is a business, and he does have to protect himself and his family and his legacy in the sport. Make sure you leave this sport with something, because when the sport is finished with you, it's finished with you. You know, so you really need to make a deal to secure some money and a position. You know, no matter if AJ didn't want it, whoever, you know, if AJ can't be the fighter, then you can fight somebody else. You can fight Dillian White. You can fight Joseph Parker. You can fight what's the WBA regular champion?
Oh man, the Don King guy.
Trevor Bryant. You can fight
the missing man.
Winner, and I get this amount of money guaranteed for that fight. I get the same money you're getting guaranteed for this. I get guaranteed for that.
Yeah, that would have been cool. But then you have the other thing too, guys. We never got the answer. Remember, Deontay Wilder said there was going to be another surprise.
Yeah, he never presented
got to it.
Right.
So I was always wondering, what was that? I was trying to think ahead. What could it be? You know, and then it's no announcement. Like 2 weeks to the fight, we still ain't heard. So
still don't know what that surprise is. Maybe the surprise is, I know he's going to pull out with the COVID.
There you go. There you go.
Maybe he knew something we didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you know, we need more. We need a little bit more information around this too. You know, he's out with COVID. What is it? The new Delta variant? Why is this? Why is it so significant?
Hey, they went
back so far.
Yeah, they went ahead and said, yeah, it is that. How you know? We don't even see. We haven't even seen the confirmation that he got it yet. How you know? Right. Oh, it's that, and it's that as well. And we got the. Oh yeah, it's all wrapped up. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, if I were venue, if I were promoter, I want to see proof. I want to see proof. I want to see the test results from independent laboratory that he has COVID, what variant it is, and then we'll take it from there. You're not going to just tell me you have COVID when you've already said that you had a vaccine before. And now you've got some things don't add up. I want to see, there are millions of dollars at stake invested by some of these people. I want to see proof.
Exactly. And then when it comes out, he's on the plane already gone.
Yeah.
He's already in motion. Now we know as the smoke leaves.
He must have flown private, because you're not supposed to be flying commercial like that.
Yeah, but how can you get into another country, regardless of who you are, when the top legislator said, well, there's a ban on that.
Right.
I mean, you got money, but you ain't got that kind of money. You know what I'm saying? Or connections, really. You're not that politically powerful to overt yourself. Because even if the president got it, he still got to stay where he at.
Right.
Now, how you going to trump that? And then all of a sudden you can get back there, and they're talking about locking things down, and then you coming back to, and your wife, come home, shit. You know what I'm saying? With the kids. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of other things because they don't want to spread, right?
I personally feel like he should be stripped over this, and those belts should be vacant, and then we choose the mandatories. I think Deontay Wilder should be the mandatory because he was the one guaranteed, but we figure out who the next mandatory is for that.
And then it falls right into hands of Eddie Hearn, because Eddie Hearn has been doing this forever. Fight Dillian White. I want AJ. Fight Dillian White. I want AJ. Fight Dillian White. So now Dillian White has, basically, Eddie Hearn and paid to make sure that Povetkin dumbass say, well, I'll fight you again after he beat him. When I would have said, no, hell with that. I want some of this AJ money. Shoot, well, I'm gonna let you get that. You gonna pay me this little change to hold still. I want the big dollars. You think I'm crazy? But he played the game. And then now he's in position to where he's already calling. Dillian White is saying, put Tyson Fury in recess, make me the champion, and I'll fight Deontay Wilder. Because he's got to be in the way. Now think about it. This benefits Tyson Fury and it benefits AJ because they get a new look at the new look Wilder. They get a chance to see him for whatever 2 minutes that's going to take, 2-3 minutes before he incapacitates him, because it ain't going to take him but one touch, and that's a wrap.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they'll get a chance to see him, get his mind off of them, focused on something else for a little while. Then, you know what I'm saying? The UK works together. But over here in the US, we're not doing that.
Yeah. Do you think that Dillian White, if as a manager for Dillian White, as a promoter for Dillian White, would you encourage him to go after someone else? For example, if he went and grabbed the belt from Trevor Bryant and then went after Joseph Parker, who I'm sure he can beat easily, both of those guys. If he went and lifted those straps, because really what we're talking about is the WBC strap. That's all we've been, that's all anybody's focused on. But if he goes and collects the WBA belts and says, I'm a world champion, period. I have regular belts. I have whatever this belt is. I'm a world champion and I'm here to unify. Does that give him significantly more bargaining power at the table?
Yeah, I mean, it gives them some, but the whole thing is that WBC is the most powerful piece because that's the ticket to AJ. And
it
AJ,
is, but you're not the unified, undisputed champion.
Yeah, but AJ is
that way.
Yeah, AJ is the guy that's got all the belts that nobody's talking about. But somebody need to go get them straps. And I can see it has some weight what you're saying for sure. If he gets them belts, I mean that is a nice looking, 2 belts is always nice around your waist.
Right.
Regardless, because especially when the AJ from Wilder's perspective, AJ ain't really in no hurry to fight you. Right. Eddie Hearn ain't in a hurry to get you in the ring with him. But if somehow, like you say, Dillian White get that and come back and they come together for the WBC, and that's a unification.
Like a lot of people are focused, they're so tunnel vision when it comes to this. I know Dillian White wants to get up there and he wants to get a shot at being the undisputed champion, but sometimes the road isn't so direct. Me personally, I would tell him to go after Trevor Bryant, go after Joseph Parker, and then just as a side gig and some more money, because really that's what this is. It's a business. Go beat up on Andy and take him out because, hey, this is the guy that stopped you, so I'm going to go beat him up because, he's stopped Warren already and too small, way too small for Dillian White, and then go, look, I'm here. I fought the guy you fought, and I beat him. I have belts, and you're calling yourself the world champion. I'm a world champion too. Take away as much from him. Don't put him on a pedestal and chase that pedestal. Take away diminish as much as you can and market yourself, and say that he's avoiding you. I would do it.
Yeah, I think that is the smartest thing for Dillian White to do for himself. I do agree with you with that wholeheartedly. But the problem is, since he's now the interim champ at WBC, and if Fury somehow gets out and that belt is in dispute, It's automatically him and Wilder. It's automatic. You know, it's like, you know, he gonna have to go down that. He gonna have to walk that the Green Mile.
Yeah.
Dead man walking. And you're gonna be the first guy to get him after he's just pissed off with Tyson Fury, and he get a chance to go out there and get off some of that hot scene. Hell, I don't want none of that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't want none of that. I'm good.
Yeah, I really, honestly, I think that Fury's been out there partying in Miami, doing all this stuff. Maybe he ended up COVID positive. Maybe he's just not ready. You know, I remember when he was at the press conference and he said he was going to do both sides of the interview, and he started all those antics, and he said something to me. He said something that really struck a chord with me. He said,
I know what you say.
Well, he said that he was going to get bigger. He was going to get to 300 pounds. I was wondering if it was that he was almost 300 pounds because he hadn't been training properly, that he was going to say that he was saying that kind of thing, that he wasn't in shape and he was looking for more time. Because, you know, he showed up there without his shirt on, like he had nothing to hide, but I felt like he didn't really look that great to me at all, and started looking a little bigger. He was looking a little bit softer. So, you know, did he step on the scale after a lot of his frivolity? You realize that what we're dealing with is an addict, right? He has an addict's mentality: drugs, alcohol, partying, all of that. And a lot of the times you may get rid of the substance, but you may not necessarily always get rid of the lifestyle that helped foster that. So partying for him and hanging out, that's all part of it. Right? So I don't know that he can manage all aspects of his addiction, and that may be part of what's going on.
Yeah, that sounds about right, you know. And then to me, he's overconfident too. You know, he was very cocky, you know. Matter of fact, Champ Side had spoke about that. Remember, basement, we were talking a little earlier about that. And that was a great point, man. You know, I mean, because you know, you guys little curly haired brother, yeah. I like to see that little fat fucker out here somewhere, because I'll sure sleep his little bitch ass. I mean, because you see him in the fight, because after the rematch, he sat there with the Hitler sign and all this, talking about Jesus Christ. What the hell is that, man? Well, we know what that is, but that's a whole nother thing.
Right, correct.
My whole thing, and I had been refusing to talk about the trilogy as far as going over all the little aspects of it since around Thanksgiving, because I'm like, man, I'll forget all that. I'm about solutions. Let's get the trilogy. That was everything. The trilogy. And then when it finally came about, I was like, boom, there we go. That's what I got. That's what we needed, because it's the only way to wrap this all up. All this other stuff, it'll always be untied. It'll always be open. Maybe that's what Fury and his guys want, because he likes what he's got now, because he was nobody before the fight.
Right.
Nobody in UK gave a damn about him. Nobody, nothing. And then it just bothers me so bad when somebody reaches out with a good gesture like that to pick a guy up who was in shit. Nobody gave a damn. Oh, he's people that You pick him up, you clean him up, you put him in the ring, and now all of a sudden he becomes something and he shits on you? Man.
Mike 202 say, how is Wilder not in the top 15 of the WBO rankings? Wow.
Man, that WBO. You see, you got a sign down there that says no Bud Crawford.
He's not paying those fees and fighting for a WBO belt, so they just don't put him in their lineup. He's not. At the end of the day, I guess it comes down to he's not paying them any money.
Mm-hmm. And every day, people are always talking about what's wrong with the sport of boxing. There you go. That ranking is the core of a lot, because a lot of times you have a ranking with 15 guys, and then all of a sudden a new name will jump in. And guess what? He's going to fight the champ now. He's not even in the 15, but here he comes. He's 4-0.
Yeah.
He's hot. He beat 3 prospects and a guy on his way out that lost his last 3 fights. But there he is. He's 4-0 with 4 KOs. Come on, man. It's what they do all the time, but that's the part they got to tighten up. Go ahead, my brother.
Now, with all this being said, so what do you guys see next for Tyson Fury? Do you guys see the trilogy happen? Maybe sometime after September, or like the good brother Hayden said, do you see maybe Wilder stepping out, taking the fight somewhere else? I'm just asking you guys, what do you guys see next for Tyson Fury, and what do you guys see next for Deontay Wilder? Because we discussed before, like, if the COVID thing, the fight shouldn't be pushed back too far. And like,
October's ridiculous.
And like you said, like, we got the Pacquiao and Spence fight coming in August. So why couldn't they just move the Pacquiao Spence fight maybe back to September and let Deontay Wilder and them have the fight, in August?
Have that fight there, because both of them taking place in Vegas.
I mean, they both is PBC working, working with each other. So I mean, do y'all guys see this fight not actually happening? Even
I said that early on.
This arbitration and everything. Do y'all see Bob Arum and Fury some way snaking his way up out of this fight?
Sure, why not? Why not? This isn't the fight they wanted originally anyway.
Remember, Bob said Fury don't want to fight him. Fury doesn't want to fight Wilder. I don't know why. I asked him, but he doesn't want to fight him.
Yeah.
I mean, so maybe, he can't. I'm just playing everything back. Man, this guy came to the press conference like he was going to a rap concert, man. No T-shirt, hat on, long chain on, and and like another thing he said too at the press conference, he didn't even know what time of day it was.
Whether it was morning or afternoon.
So that made me think, like, damn, is he back on drugs, or he on some drunk shit?
So that's what I mean. It's that addictive nature that allows him to let go of all that and not care about those things. You're out there, and he was out there partying. People spotted him. He's been out. You've seen him at all kinds of events, sporting events, club events, promotional events, all kinds of stuff. So, that says to me, if you're doing one, you may be doing the other, but irregardless, he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Right.
Yeah, I think this raises a lot of questions now. It puts us in a really tricky spot, because if there's an opportunity for that fight to happen, I believe Wilder's going to stay on it, because he really wants that get back, and he's going to stay on. He deserves it, man, and it ought to come true. And they need to force him to fight sooner than that. No more than 2 or 3 weeks, man. And they need to reschedule it that tight.
I feel like when something like this happens, there should be compensation of some kind to the other fighter for all of their hard work, for all of their discipline, for all of their, he's had to pay people. You're paying trainers, you're paying training venues, you're paying hotels, you're paying a nutritionist, your strength coach, you're invested, your time, your money. I feel like there should be some sort of compensation.
They need to penalize him a percentage of his purse.
Correct.
And flip it over. I think that would be perfect for that. And that would also keep any further these false delays from happening too.
From pulling these antics. That's right.
Yeah. And now
I feel like Tio should be penalized for his.
Oh my God. June 5th to October.
Hey, that's another thing I want to talk about, is why would they move the Lopez fight all the way back so far, and then all of a sudden now they want to take it out of the country?
Yeah, to Australia, where Kambosos is.
He don't want to go there. You see what happened to Pacquiao when he went there. He already said, I'm gonna drop the IBF. I ain't going. I don't blame him on that, man, because they did Manny Pacquiao dirty there last time, and that's a top-ranked move. And then you just now starting to get back in the good graces of Bob. We don't know where Bob really stand with you yet. He let you out to Devin Haney, but he still got his paws on you. And he let you know, I got some tricks out there.
Yeah, I think they're really angling for that Loma rematch. I think they'll try to do anything they can to sabotage this fight to put him back in line for a Loma rematch, because that's the one that's valued higher. Again, it sucks because Kambosos is coming ready, you know. And,
and look how long he's been training. And how long he still has to go to train. I mean, this is ridiculous. They did all this for nothing. They could have started from now. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know. And then, like, to go back to what you was asking in that earlier question about, okay, what should happen next? Now, if they can't get the Wilder Fury thing back going like it should, and it has to go, what's the next move? Then, man, you know, it's almost automatic that it's going to be Dillian White. You know. And that's exactly what Eddie Hearn has been. This is the game he plays constantly, especially with U.S. fighters, though. With U.S. fighters, he'll put somebody else in front, another one of his fighters. You fight him. You might want to fight that guy, but he's not going to give you that guy. He's going to give you the other guy.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to go through him to get to him. We don't know because nobody's taking this guy to get to this guy yet. But at that point, Wilder going to take it, and Wilder going to unleash holy hell on him, and that ain't going to be much of a fight. And then after that, then AJ will start to have some situation where he wants to do something else. He may want to retire because I don't believe he's going to want to get in there, man. Hey, salute the PGH big dog in there, the big dog in the building. Salute, brother.
Salute PGH.
Yeah, man, because it get real funny at that point, you know, because now he got to fight Usyk. He still got to beat Usyk. They say Usyk gets 230 right now. If he can keep his skills at 230,
yeah.
And if he goes out there and fights the style that he fought with Andy Ruiz, he's gonna get beat.
There are some dangerous guys out there, man. You know, I think that if the right trainer gets his hands on Otto Wallen and tightens him up, he's a danger still. You know.
Yeah. Wow,
that guy he actually decked Tyson Fury in their fight. He's been in charge of taking out the trash. He took out Dominic Steele.
He should have stopped that fight because he had, I mean, his eyeball was damn near hanging out his eye. Oh, we don't see nothing. No reason to stop this fight. I ain't never seen nothing like it, man. Every opportunity, every chance, anything that can be given to him that can help along, he has gotten.
He has.
Not one thing has ever happened to where he said, "Oh, they should have done this." Never. He's always happy. Everybody loves it. It's like a segment of society who loves. Well, I guess that is universal. Somebody that can always beat the law. That's always one step ahead of the law. Yeah. A lot of people like that type of thing. But what he's doing is taking it to the 25th power, man. It's ridiculous, man. You know, I mean, man. I want this fight, man. I'm tired of waiting on it, man. We've been going over this. I've seen people that go, I mean, especially YouTuber content creators or whatever, who go at it 24/7. 24/7. People want to fight. People do this and everything. I see people using it, get on people's platform and come out and change up things just to, you know, to cause the divisions. And a lot of people have used it for their own gain in a lot of devious ways, man. It's crazy out here. It really is. On this side of the fence, I mean, you sitting in the chat, it looks one way to y'all. On this side, there's a lot of crazy things going on. And you might hear about some of them. But it all can trace back to this fight. That's why this fight needs to happen. So all bets and all comments, everything can be settled. You know, one side won, the other side lost, they can go lick their wounds and we can move on to the next thing. But until we get that final answer, that is always going to be there. I heard somebody say, well, maybe he'll retire. He'll step away a few years and let Wilder go do this and come back and fight Wilder then. You know, but you got to tax him for that. If he make a move like that, you got to tax him. He can't be walking around here with the same, you're great, you're running. You're running. And that got to be acknowledged. The sport of boxing has to govern itself. And we who love the sport, who constantly 24/7, all we talk is boxing, we got to take control of that.
We've got to hold them accountable for sure.
There you go. Because ESPN ain't going to do it.
It's our money.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Somebody said the other day, man, they were like, man, this fight didn't sell out. He needs the UK fans. Do you know how many tickets that Tyson Fury sold in those two previous fights that he didn't fight Wilder?
Yeah, he sold. He doesn't need it.
Man, I can't believe they fixed their mouth to say such a thing. This man can't fill up a damn high school gym, basketball gym, not the football field, 4,000, 5,000. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, he wasn't bringing to the table what Wilder was bringing to the table.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah. And they got to call him on it, man. And but this move right here takes it all. The fact that he, if he had stayed here and faced up, and you see him on the camera, I've this, that, and the third, and I really wanted. We was getting there. He's not doing that. He disappeared on everybody, and then we're hearing something, but we don't get to see the source. He's the main guy that's always in the camera. I'm the Gypsy King, and I'm a fighting man, and I'm 15, 19 stone, and all this. So he's quick on that, man. But now, shit, he going to the airport like this and shit.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Something else got to come out of that, man. Something else has to come out of this, man. Something else got to come out of this. This is ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
But it's going to cost him. But it's just a matter of what, because he's going to owe Eddie Hearn too. Eddie said he in the red with him, so he got a lot of things. I don't really know if he can retire because he can't pay the money and settle his debts, retire, and still live his life with his family and everything normal to, like take all of his gains and still live. The penalty is going to be too much for him, and Bob Arum ain't going to be for that. Maybe that's why he's leaving. He think if he go back to the UK can say hell with that court decision. Maybe Frank Warren has been working on something over there where he gets his license back,
right.
And they forget it. WBC might say, okay, well, you got to watch that guy too, but just like when I asked Mauricio Sulaiman before, I said, look, man, why don't you just go ahead and make the fight mandatory for him to fight Fury so we can hurry up and get to the fight? Oh, we're going to let it play itself out. Well, I expect you to do the same damn thing now, Mauricio. Shut the fuck up, sit in the corner. Don't say a motherfucking word till they figure out what the arbitrator say. Because that's what he told me when I asked him man to man, pimp to pimp, straight up, face to face. He told me that. So I'm holding you to that shit. Don't come back. Oh, well, I figure it's been the heavyweight division, and I don't want to hear none of that shit. Because I told you that day, all you had to do was keep that shit mandatory. We could have already had this damn fight. It would have been in the past. The AJ fight or whatever, if he had won, it was there. It was there. Do the right thing for boxing, man. When are the people who are responsible for the sport going to actually do what's right for the sport now? When is that going to happen? Where are the boxing purists? I mean, look at Mauricio Sulaiman, man. We look at the guy. We think the guy Mexican. He's not even Mexican. He's from people from Syria, but he perpetrates like he's you think he's a Mexican guy, but he's not. He's from Syria. So you know what I'm saying? It's all like this.
So hey, why the hell do we get these heavily Mexican ties then?
Because the WBC based in Mexico. He lives in Mexico. Really, that's not where he's from. That's not Espanol is not his first language. But when a lot of times Middle Eastern person come over, they can blend well because they look like the phenotype. And you look at them, if he give you a little accent, you're gonna take it as that, even though it might not sound like it. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's just like, man, oh man, this just got me just like. Just need this to be solved, man. We need them in the ring. We need it over with. It don't need to go through October. It should not go past August. Sometime in August, this fight needs to take place. I mean, August the 1st. Should give him 2 weeks. That's all he needs. Shit. What is the date? I need to look at a calendar. Damn, first Saturday in August, man. I mean, by the 24th, his symptoms is gonna be out enough to where he gonna be okay. He gonna be all right. We don't have to, COVID ain't what COVID was in the beginning when everybody was on the respirators and, not to make light of anything to everybody, man, but this is where we are today right now. Because you look at people now, you can walk around without masks now. Society is lightening up now. So the threat obviously can't be as bad as it was before. You see what I'm saying? So let's scale it back as it scales itself back. Well, we ain't got to wait till no damn October. Why? October, then all of a sudden this new strain comes through. Oh, we have to shut it down again. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, man. But something's got to give with this, man. This need to be settled. This is holding up the entire heavyweight division. Everybody in the heavyweight division is just like, we don't know what to do. And the main guy with all the belts is in the background. There's no pressure on AJ. AJ been on vacation for a long time. What you say, bro?
I said, no, I said, like you said, it ain't no pressure on AJ.
None, man. He just sitting back and he got all the belts.
He got all the belts. He got a bullshit fight coming up.
Yeah.
And he like, man, you know, shit, I can go out here and fight this bullshit fight, give me some free money, let Wilder and Fury do whatever the fuck they want to do, and I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna just play the puppet.
Take pictures with my belt.
He the puppet master right now. He the puppet master.
Yeah.
And let them fight over me. Let them fight over the claim and everything. I'm gonna sit up here and fight me another bomb, and I'm gonna just carry my belts around. And
Eddie Hearn, man, him and Eddie Hearn, this is working out perfect for them. You know, he gets to keep those belts, and they need to be more pressure. And then we got to break up that UK cycle they got over there, because you got the same guys fight the same guys over again, but they won't fight the guys on that side of the pond. And nobody in boxing is complaining and saying, well, hey, what's going on? How come these guys over there get ranked so high? Because they fighting each other, but they're not fighting the guys over there. Let's mix this up and find out who is what is what. I mean, everybody assumes King Kong Ortiz, oh, he's this, he's that, and that, and that. But you go fight a Povetkin, who clearly showed everybody his last fight that he was garbage.
But you said it yourself when oh man, I just forgot what I was saying. Brother jumped out the chat. Shit.
Bruce Gold said Mauricio was born in Mexico. Okay. Yeah, but he said Mexico was from Syria and Lebanon. Yeah. So that's his roots is there. It's not really a Mexican roots, but it's there by adoption, basically. Yeah, that's true, man. Because his father, who was his name? Damn it, Julio Suleiman, something like that. I can't remember right off the top, but I remember him coming up. He was a little bit different, man. A little bit more, but at that era at the time, black fighters wasn't up against as much opposition because the sport was really being rejuvenated and brought back and on the rise in the country because, we was basically doing that. So, they rode the tide with us, man. Then when it got to a certain thing, they looking back at them now, and then now you got NBF lists and stuff, man. It's just like crazy, man. Ain't nothing never changed. It's the same thing. If it worked then, it works now. I mean, hey, we control the culture. The culture that everybody is exhibiting in America is rooted in us. I don't give a damn where you come from, because you look at everybody's music, everything. It's mimicking what we bring now. It ain't changed. And when you embrace that fact, numbers will go up. I mean, Triller proved that. They put that whole thing together and they pretty much marketed to the culture, and the culture showed up in support instead of these rich idiots. Didn't say, oh, wow, look at that, and take it and run. Well, some have in a little aspect, man, but it need to be more embraced like that, man, because that's all the sport really needs, man. It's almost like these guys don't want the sport if it doesn't look a certain way. And I hate that part, but they need to do the right thing by this.
Yeah.
Bruce goes.
I was talking to somebody last night, and, we get these mega fights, and I'm not mad at anybody for making big money, but I feel like there are so many great fights that aren't made, and people aren't fighting each other because they're trying to protect that that if we say we look at Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, what if we only paid them, and I say only, what if we only paid them 70 mil a piece instead of 100 mil a piece, and took that 60 remaining and spread that out through the division? At the end of the day, I don't think that people would be as afraid to fight one another and protect that we would get the best. We act like there was never a time when legends didn't have losses. Sugar Ray Leonard had losses. Roberto Duran, losses. Losses. All of these guys. Oscar De La Hoya has losses. Why is it that our sport is being so critical? It's just we've created a culture where these guys are afraid because losing that O translates to losing money. The minute a guy loses, even if he's losing to a top tier guy, he's a bum.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's
see that.
that's the makings of Floyd Mayweather and Andre Ward.
Right. I feel like we
them
need
two
to get back
guys
to
made
a place where if you lose, then there's a great money rematch because it was a great fight. That's what the fans want to see. They want to see a great fight. You look at the UFC, McGregor, who's been the biggest draw for how he lost to this guy. He'd been knocked out. He got knocked out cold, but he's getting ready to fight tonight, and fans are still loving it. They're still paying for it. He's still got a ton of supporters because he's going to give a good fight. That's what they want to see, and that's what's
at the end of the day, a good fight.
At the end of the day, and that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt the sport of boxing more than anything in the long term. Is that people feel like it's almost like the WWE in that we're picking and choosing the fights that are made, and the guys who fight each other. People are there are people that are getting paid to lose. We just need to get the best guys fighting best guys, and we need to stop with all the money just being at the top, especially in the heavyweight division. I'm sorry, that's where the worst level of boxing is. We promote the heavyweights, we talk about the heavyweights, but come on, seldom are those guys. The guys at the top who have longevity in heavyweight division have always been the guys who box the best.
Exactly.
Right? And they just don't box. It's exciting because those guys bang each other out. They knock each other out. The intrigue is lost a lot of times, though. The skill is lost. The craft is lost when you've got just big punchers who can get up there and do damage and just damage their way through the division, or just and then we don't have the longevity. You can't invest yourself in a heavyweight champion and know that you're going to have longevity. The waters are too dangerous for him to navigate. On any given day, in any given fight, your champ, the guy you invested in, the one you talked all the smack to your homeboys about, is gone in a punch.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And then they take away.
Hurt the sport overall because people base the sport on these things. When you looked at the crossover and MMA started leveling their respective guns at boxing, when you talk to them and you try to explain to them why a boxer has a great chance in the octagon. Oh, no, one of the greatest boxers ever got in there and he got torn up. James Toney. We know that James Toney was not the James Toney by any stretch. And even still, heavyweight James Toney was not the same as super middleweight or light heavyweight style James Toney.
Man, bro, see, you just rolled up on one of my pet peeves, man. When it comes to that MMA boxing conversation, bro, oh my God, man. People kill me with how they act like it's just an automatic win for them. If you go in the octagon, you're just going to automatically. I'm saying,
what's
wait a minute.
What's going to happen when you get that boxer off his feet? What's going to happen if you can't?
Yeah, go put your chin in there and go in there and try to get him out of there. Go jump in there and run in there and see what happens when that chin get met with them knuckles.
This is a guy that's used to having 8 or 10 or 12-ounce gloves on. What if he only has 4-ounce gloves on? How much faster are his hands?
Right.
How much more power in that punch when it lands? How much
more power is he generating? And how much, with that light, how much faster, how much more precise are those punches? Powerful striking isn't the same as powerful precision punching. 1.
There you go.
2, the octagon is closer to being a circle than it is a square. They took boxers out of a circle. That's why it was originally called a ring. It was a circle. And they took them out because they proved mastery of defense. And all defense is boring. So they put them in a square. You put them in there defensively, they've got a leg up because they control the geometry of that space better than an MMA guy does.
Exactly.
The fight starts on your feet favoring the striker.
Yep.
So, but this is why we need to get these guys fighting one another. This is why, because they can sit back and make these arguments and make these pseudo comparisons to WWE and all of this nonsense. We just need to get these. Boxing is a pure martial art, and it's being a bit tarnished by all of this politicking and the hoarding at the top of the money. It's not distributed to where these guys can make livable wages. Fighters don't need to be working as carpenters and working as this and that. If you're going to be fighting, you need to be able to invest yourself in fighting.
Yeah,
exactly.
Let some of that money trickle down. It doesn't have to be, if a guy's making $150,000, $200,000 a year, out of $30 million from a super fight, if you extract that, and that goes a long way in the division. You cover the top 20 guys really well with that.
Yeah.
Sure, man. Start doing
salute the Ray Teflon, and he said some boxers have a better instance for MMA than others.
Exactly. And it just gets to me when they act like it's an automatic deal, man. Like it's automatic. Oh, he's going to definitely lose there. Yeah. And it's not, because what are the most exciting MMA fights? It's when somebody gets hit. When a striker lands a blow, everybody erupts. Whoa!
Right.
Boxing.
Hey, well, listen. Hey, yeah. But okay, so listen. You made a little point when you said boxing is becoming like WWE, because we done stated this before on this channel before. So do you take, is it the politics in boxing along with maybe the antics of fighting these YouTubers, professional fighters fighting these YouTubers? All that had to play a role with this WWE thing.
A lot of these guys are doing it because of the money. It's just the money, right? If we pay them well, then we don't have to worry about that. I think that it's fine for the YouTubers to fight in boxing. It just brings more to our stage, right?
Right.
But they should be fighting each other, not actual boxers. We shouldn't have Floyd Mayweather fighting a YouTuber. That's just ridiculous to me. And
right.
Just another way that Floyd's coming around to help corrupt the sport a little bit and detract from the sport. But he's proven to us, even when he fought McGregor. Come on, we know what we were looking at, and we know how he carried that fight to quantify the money. If Floyd really loved boxing, he would have opened up, knocked him out, gone home and said, you guys have no business over here, and take that back and respect our sport as a pure martial art. MMA is not a martial art. It's combined arts. When I get guys that come to me to teach them striking for MMA, in a 2-year span, you realize these guys are turning pro after 2 years of training in MMA, right? They come right out, they train, 2 years later, they're going pro. See it all the time. They come to me to learn striking. In the span of that year that they decide they want to start learning how to punch properly, learning how to kick, I can extrapolate, because they're spending time in takedown, they're spending time rolling, they're spending time in grabbing. I can extrapolate probably in the span of a year, maybe 3 months worth of boxing.
Right.
What do you know after 3 months of training in boxing?
Nothing.
Especially when that 3 months isn't condensed. It's this weekend, it's this Monday and this Friday, and then 2 weeks from now we got a Monday and a Friday, and then we got that weekend. And we're trying to string all of that together. So what kind of, you're better than the other guy who didn't invest in it, or who only got his striking from another MMA style striker? Wide looping punches, no great defense, no parrying, no slipping, no weaving, no they don't understand range. They don't understand letting those punches pass by really closely so that they're there to capitalize on. They don't understand any of that, right? So it agitates me when I see things like that, and I see these guys going to go fight the MMA stylist, and they don't just do what they have to do. They don't just put them away the way that they should, and show them that this is a pure martial art. Just like jiu-jitsu, just like judo, just like boxing has been around. You can go beyond the Greco-Roman games and the gladiatorial times, and you can find boxing as one of the first rudimentary styles of fighting. And we look at the evolution of boxing.
Oh man, he dropped.
Oh, he dropped out. He dropped off.
Yeah, he dropped. He'd be back in.
Yeah, he was making a good point too.
Yeah, he was, man. But you know, when I think I feel him though. But the only thing I differ in is when he talks about Floyd doing those type of things. You know, retired boxers, I put them in another category. You know, them guys want to make some money doing some little fights like that. Let them go ahead and do that. But real boxers, that's where I differentiate. But you know, I feel what he was saying though. I definitely feel what he was saying. Yeah, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, hoping he was gonna kick back in. He's on the road too, so he's probably in a bad spot too, man.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Next up, let's see. Did you ever get to check the Diaz and Fortuna fight?
I didn't see it live when it happened, but I heard about what happened and everything, you know, and it's just like, you know, after Fortuna talked all that madness, he went out there and laid an egg, man, you know.
Yeah, he laid the egg, man. He laid the
talked
egg.
all that stuff about Devin Haney. Everybody talking about Devin Haney, but they have a hard time. He was another one ducking Devin Haney, and they trying to act like he wasn't ducking him. He runs out here and loses to JoJo Diaz. Now JoJo Diaz is in there. And now, from what I understand, Devin Haney went right into it. He said, well, I want to fight JoJo Diaz. And now the zone tripping about that fight. So, like, the zone don't want him to fight JoJo Diaz. So now.
And JoJo Diaz, he called him out last night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Devin Haney was on him.
Right. And hey, man, it's like, man, Fortuna fumble. But this is a cold thing. This is a cold thing. I don't know if anybody paid attention to it. I'm not paying attention to this. After the JoJo Diaz fight was over with, they announced that JoJo was the winner. The WBC gives him the belt, T-shirt, a medal, and a belt. I'm thinking in my mind, like, what WBC belt does he have? If Devin Haney got the WBC belt and Lopez got the WBC franchise belt at 135, so what WBC belt does he have at 135?
Got the interim. That was the belt Ryan had.
Listen, okay, I thought it was interim, but his belt did not say interim on it.
That's what it's supposed to be. Yeah, that's a good question.
So listen, I'm on Clubhouse. They say, oh, it's the international. I look at it. His belt don't say the international. His belt say the WBC champion.
Man.
And the cold thing was they had a belt made for his son already.
For his son?
For his son. So when he won the fight and the WBC come in the ring, they give him a T-shirt, give him a medal, give him a belt, and they gave him a baby belt for his son.
Baby belt? What the hell would they? When they start this? When they start that?
Man, watch the end of the fight, man. Watch the end of the fight. Watch the end of the fight. So
yeah, I gotta see that.
Was this shit already rehearsed? What WBC belt does he have if it says WBC champion? It don't say international. It don't say interim. Usually them belts say the interim. His belt said the WBC champion last night, along with a medal, along with the T-shirt.
Yeah, that's a lot, man. That's what the real champion gets.
Sorry about that. I've been having some technicals this morning.
No
what I was trying to say a little while ago, I was just trying to tie it all back in. All of these antics that we're seeing with COVID and the theatrics at the weigh-ins with as you said, Tyson Fury showing up without a shirt and big chain and talking all this trash, and the same with T.O.'s antics and
smack he was talking, showing him hanging out in all these places, being irresponsible. When we look at all of that, that's what ends up leaving the sport open to this kind of criticism and this kind of lame comparison to just the entertainment of things like the WWE. So that's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. And I think also too the promotional companies like Eddie Hearn and guys like that also have a wrestling type of WWE type of vibe because they want to control the outcomes of everything. And they got their own vested interest that's taking over boxing and really ruining the sport. When it should be clear. It should be clear cut. You win that fight, you get that fight, and vice versa all the way around. That's where that ranking system has to be more refined now. There's no way that Deontay Wilder, the moment he lost, should already be in the top 5 of every sanctioning body off the top. There's no way. Man was champ 5 years running. He lose, and then he, you had who they have ranked ahead of him, man. They had some. Oh man, them rankings. I mean, I'm like, this don't even make sense, man. How could you? I mean, every weight division too, because you can have Boots Ennis ranked 9th in the WBO, and then you got fucking Cavanoculus, Green Beans, or whatever is ranked ahead of him, and you like, how?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to clear up. Ain't no way. There's no way it could be that much difference.
I don't get how the WBC at this point. I understand in their early pinings of the belt how they didn't, as you were talking about how it's a Mexico City-based belt. But now it's a global belt. Now it's the one that everyone's looking for. How are they not making power moves to stamp out the other belts? I understand the WBO because it is a European-based belt. So if you want to be a European world champion versus the WBC, the Western world champion, I get it. And then we unify those two and make you the overall world champion. Something like that, I'm okay with. But all of these other belts, all of these other sanctioning bodies and organizations, it just has to stop. And I feel like the WBC, if they can get it together, if Mauricio Suleiman will just get it together, he's in a position to stamp out these other guys. They formed a WBA Middle East division. They formed a WBA division that takes care of the southern regions and the Caribbean, a lot of those islands and places like that. Then why are we not, why are they not? I don't necessarily need them to be monopolized, but I certainly would like to see a more unified direction. And I don't like us being able to have, I used to joke that at any given time with the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF, we had 3 guys running around calling themselves world champion. Right now, we've got 6 or 8 that could possibly be running around calling I'm the interim world champion. I'm the regular world champion. Come on, man. This is ridiculous.
Go ahead, Black.
I gotta put this in here since we talked about sanctioning bodies. I gotta get everybody's opinion. And in the chat, somebody explain to me how a guy who becomes the WBA super champion in the ring, he wins that belt. He's the man. You did not strip him. You put him in recess.
Yeah.
And when he asked for his belt back because he's about to fight the baddest man mofo in the whole damn division, you tell him no. Somebody make me understand this.
Well, help me understand what the heck a franchise champ is.
Okay. This is good. Before we even get into all that, this is funny because you dropped out, and that's when me and Black Star started talking about. And I said, well, okay, we're gonna move on and wait till the good brother come on back in. And we was just discussing like last night's fight, Jojo Diaz.
This
was real funny. After the fight, the WBC come in the ring. They give him a T-shirt. They give him a medal. They give him a belt. They even gave his son a belt.
Yeah, I saw the.
So last night I'm saying, what WBC belt does he have? If Devin Haney has the WBC belt and Lopez has the WBC franchise belt.
Franchise belt.
What belt does he have? So I go to Clubhouse. They say, "Oh, it's the international." I rewind the TV, stop, pause it. I look at the belt. No, it's not the international. I say, "Well, what belt is it?" They say, "Oh, it's the interim." I look at the belt. No, I don't say interim on it.
The
This
interim.
belt says
It says world
WBC
champion.
champion, world champion.
That's
So
crazy. We get to do
what
it
belt?
and all that.
What belt does Lopez have? I mean, Diaz have that the Devin Haney doesn't have.
See, that's the other thing. That Teofimo has a extra WBC belt that has nothing, don't mean to it at all. It's just there. It just looks good for the pictures because it doesn't. I mean, you said that you're credited with the franchise, which you're not even supposed to be eligible for because you haven't done anything magnificent in the sport, but win that one fight where you actually was able to get this because they made a special exemption for whatever reason that makes no damn sense at all.
Right.
But somehow you get that, and then they give you an additional WBC belt.
It's like
you know
printing
what?
money, right? It's just
forgot
like
about
how
that.
we just print
I
money.
forgot about that. He do. Lopez do got 2 WBC belts.
and got the certificates for both of them.
I want
And
to
tell
see,
you.
but
Yeah.
then he needs to fight himself to unify those belts.
Man, he got the first one for ducking Devin Haney, just like Lomachenko went down and pleaded and cried and begged for, and he was the recipient of that. Then he got the second one because he was successful in ducking Devin Haney, not once but twice.
Right.
That's the way I look at it. That's what that belt means to me.
Speaking of, if that fight were to happen, who do you have for that?
I'm going with Devin, and I'm going with Devin because every time he's next to Devin, he don't act right, and that gives me a heads up that something ain't right there.
Yeah,
he not confident when he come to him. Every time it's time for him to get in the ring with this guy, he started. It's funny, but then when he get away from him, oh man, I'm gonna bust him. Oh man, he got what he said. He said, now how a man gonna say this about another man? And boxing did not make him get his ass in the ring against that man is beyond me, because that's what the sport of boxing is here for.
It's all about if you're gonna call somebody out of their name, if you're gonna.
He said that this man had dick sucking lips.
And boxing said that about Devin Haney.
He said that about Devin Haney during the quarantine before he fought Loma. He said that. Wow. And boxing should have made him get his bitch ass in the ring with that man.
Wow.
Just on that alone. Man.
I mean, if Dana White was in charge of that would have happened.
Exactly.
There would have been there would have been clips of that all over the place.
See, and the beauty of that is he's his own sanctioning body. And this is the thing that we talked about on here. I mean, months from the inception, really. PBC need to just circle it up, lock it up, produce their own belt, their own ranking system, and run it. They got the majority of the fighters out here now. This is the time to do it. They should go ahead and because look at how all the other sanctioning bodies and all other promotional companies treat the PBC fighters anyway. You know, it's always like they're on the other side. They can work together and have gripes and they still be okay. But when it comes to that side over there, it's just they'll never be okay with them. So if you shut it down now and you consistently putting together great fight cards and you're doing that, you have an opportunity to split this thing. Right. And when people say, well, I don't like boxing because of this, it ought to be more like the UFC. Well, you got a model right here. Wasn't oh man, what's my man name for the UFC again? Dana White. Yeah. He's talked to Floyd Mayweather. There's been some talks about them maybe doing a merger or some type of something in the future. Yeah. I would love to see that, because for one, it would help out U.S. boxing, because U.S. boxing seems to be. Now we talked to the good brother Ronnie Sims, the coach Ronnie Sims that come through here, man, and he talks about how he's trying to coach the amateurs and the Olympic team and stuff like that, and he's being held back from that. What is going on with the amateurs, the farm teams and everything that used to be the amateurs in the U.S. now? It's like it's getting less support. It's getting less push. It's like it's not encouraged to be what it used to be, and nobody's calling it out. Why the U.S. has to take a hit on boxing when we're the ones that took it where it is today? and why Americans are not supporting American fighters. I mean, that's a real serious thing, man. You know.
Well, that's a whole nother topic because let's look right now. Who are all of the big name breakout athletes to watch in the Olympics right now?
See, I haven't watched the Olympics in a while.
Number
man.
one right now is who? The little gal from right here in Houston, Texas, Simone Biles.
You in Houston?
Right? I'm in Houston.
Bro, I'm in Houston.
Where are you at?
Yeah, I'm 59 near Humbleside.
Okay. Yeah. I used to be out there all the time in Atascocita.
Yeah.
I'm in the Galleria area.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're over the fancy side, man. I gotta come over there sometime just to walk around and say I know somebody over there.
Right on, man.
Yeah, man. But that's what's up, man. You have to link up sometime, man. You know.
Definitely. It's funny. It was Brandon from Clubhouse, right? Brandon Contier.
Yeah.
Brandon's here in Houston too. We went to the Charlo fight together.
Man.
So
you going?
Actually, are you going to cover the fight in Texas City? Jamal Woods' card. It's coming up on the 24th.
I might have time to do that.
Yeah, that's in Texas City at the Booker T gym out there. And we said we'll go.
Okay.
So
hey,
get a couple people together.
Yeah, man, definitely the 24th. So that's the same day as the trilogy. Yeah, the trilogy.
So we won't be missing anything to go.
Ain't got nothing to miss.
Might as well go show some local support, you know?
Yeah, man, that's good. Hey, bro, I'm glad you told me that, man. Definitely, for sure, man. And what about next week, man? You going to the fight out there in San Antonio?
You know, if I can get away, I'm definitely gonna go up there.
I'm plotting and strategizing right now.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a good one, boy. That's gonna be a good one. Let's keep rolling. Hey,
chance to see Undisputed live right there in front of you like that too.
Yeah.
You know, hell, man, that Charlo gym ain't but 15 minutes from my door, man. So I'm like, man,
wow.
I want to roll by there, man. Congratulations, champ.
Hey, let me get you guys' opinions on next week's fight.
Say again?
I said, let me get you guys' opinions on next week's fight.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, the Undisputed?
Undisputed.
Yeah, I got Jamel, man. But it ain't going to be easy.
It's not going to be an easy fight at all.
Nah, it's not going to be
a walk in the park.
Yeah.
You know, Jamel has shown lapses in his concentration, in his focus. But I'm gonna have to lean his way on this fight. I think it's gonna be a tough fight. It's gonna be a tough fight, a tough night. And if he's been training the way he's supposed to, if he's as focused as he's supposed to, it'll be a learning experience too. It'll just sharpen him up a little bit more. But I think he's gonna have to walk through it a little bit to get it done.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure, man. Because Castano ain't no joke, man.
Do either one of you guys see this fight going the distance?
It could.
It very well could. I'll tell you, I don't see it being an early stoppage. So
no, I don't think it's a one hit a quitter type of situation.
No. I think this is, if it's going to get stopped, it's going to be 9th round on.
Right.
Yeah, I have to agree with that, man. Because Castano doesn't really get a lot of notoriety or anything, man. But he's one hell of a damn fighter, man. Texera took him on and thought, hey, I'm gonna get past him and I'm gonna get Jamel, and went in there and was like, what the hell is this guy? You can see in his face like, damn, I signed this car. I should have just skipped him and went to Jamel.
Here's what I want to know at this point in their respective careers, both Jamel and Jamal. What's really on the horizon? He gets past this, he gets past Castano. Then what? Then who?
Yeah, are you talking about Jamel or Jamal?
Let's start with Jamel.
Yeah, Jamel get Undisputed, man. I think he'll wear the titles for a little bit, but as soon, like he already said, when Earl goes up, he's going to go up to 160 with his brother. And that's going to be interesting because now, once again, like we were just talking about, you got a fighter like Triple G who just allowed to just sit there and hold titles, avoid all the top competition, And just as long as he keeps crying about Canelo, nobody puts no pressure on him. Because Canelo ain't gonna fight him again. It's like, what's the point? You know? And I see where Canelo come from. But if you're not going to fight him, you got to fight these other guys. You can't just sit there and hold the belts and the sanctioning bodies. Nobody is saying, well, okay, well, you got to, fight this guy. And why are not all sanctioning bodies? Because everybody's talking about all the belts, not pushing for undisputed in every division.
Right. Because you're not making any money while the belt sits there.
Right.
Exactly. When Canelo says he goes for it, boxing goes in 100%. And I don't disagree with that. Because that's a fighter that's after that should be supported. But tell me why Errol Spence, all this time, he still has 2 belts. And he was the first guy talking about undisputed. He can't get the guys in the ring. His fighter, Manny Pacquiao, 8 division, Hall of Famer. There's no way you can tell me that Canelo's resume can match up his. It's not. He asked boxing, give me my belt back. I'm in recess. I'm fighting the baddest guy in 47. There's no reason. You took it from me because you said I wasn't fighting nobody. But I'm fighting this guy. I want my belt back. No. We're going to give it to Ugas. Who the fuck is Ugas?
Ugas, yeah.
Ugas has 4 losses, and I only know one of the guys that beat him. Somebody name me the other 3. Can anybody? I doubt you can. You talk about an overrated ass fighter. It's him. That's him. He is fugazi as hell. And if he ever watch his next fight, because think about it. I don't think they really support Earl in the way that they should, because they could do this. They could put him in there with boots. You see? This man is fighting all the killers and everything. He been after this.
I wouldn't want Boots to fight Earl, man.
But this is what I'm saying. If he gets in there with Ugas, because Ugas is a super, so everybody got a gun for him. So if they say, okay, well, you got to fight him now, and he goes and fights him, he's gonna lose.
Now you wouldn't want Boots to fight Errol because why?
For Boots' sake. For Boots' sake.
But at the end of the day, it's boxing.
It's a great fight. I
like Ennis. I really like him.
I would like Boots to fight Keith Thurman. I like him to fight Bud Crawford. I like him to fight Sean Porter. Just not an Earl Spence right now. I think that's right now. I think that's too much of a dog fight for him right now.
I think it's better for him to meet him at 54.
One thing I can say, yeah, you might have a point right there too.
Yeah. That'd be a better fight because he'd be more seasoned too. It'd make a better fight.
Yeah,
because I was just gonna say, I think Boots is he probably about 2 fights away from fighting Earl. I'm fighting Earl. I'm just fighting Earl.
Yeah, they do seem to be on a collision course.
I think he like 2 fights away from being able to get in the ring with Earl, and I'll be satisfied. Like, okay, that's not too early for him.
Yeah.
If he take a loss, he take a loss. But hey,
if he can get past Sean Porter, then
Porter ain't gonna fight him. Porter already said he ain't fighting him.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, and I kind of understand why, because on Sean Porter's end, Boots can go out there and do boxing, do everything. I believe it to be the same thing that Earl did. Besides, Boots wouldn't stay in the pocket and take some of the punishment that Earl did. You feel me? Earl stood in the pocket and took some punishment to prove Sean Porter, I'm gonna beat you in your own fight. Well, Boots, knowing that he's seen how Earl fought him, he would go out there and just outbox Sean Porter and run circles around him. I can see Sean Porter just being out there frustrated, throwing them haymakers,
trying to turn it into a dog fight.
Especially at this stage in his career as well. I think it just spells bad for him, and I think he succeeded to that, really. But as far as Earl getting Boots right now, Earl is the kind of fighter that can beat the fight out you. to where you're not the same fighter coming out the other end. Now, right now, he's a confident young fighter on the rise. If he goes in there with a guy like that and get mowed down and get worn down and beat down, he may develop the ability to start questioning himself, and then that'll be not good for his career moving forward. But if he goes and let Earl go up to 54 and does what he got to do there after undisputed, he fills in, maybe get undisputed there, then come to 54. Now you got something. Now you got something, because now Earl's older. He's more seasoned himself. He's not young like a little spring chicken no more. He's a seasoned vet, been through some wars now. Confidence is set now. Now you put them together, you got a war now. Maybe two, maybe three.
I believe you gotta go. You gotta already been in a war before you get in the fight with Earl Spence. You gotta already been in a war.
You've got to be battle tested.
That can't be your first war.
Hey, you see what Manny said, right? Manny said he's working on his endurance. He knows it's
gonna be a long night.
he know this guy here don't stop. It's not like fighting Floyd Mayweather where he pop move.
Yeah.
Pop. I'm still right here. Pop some more.
I just don't. I don't get why Manny is fighting. I don't get why Manny's fighting. But I don't get why it's got to be Errol Spence. I wish he would have gone after Crawford before he went after Spence.
Well, Crawford not gonna fight nobody though.
Man,
he's not getting paid while he doesn't.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on, and I know you got on here no Bud Crawford conversation.
Hey, hold on. I'm gonna do this for my peoples.
I ain't got no. I'm gonna be honest with you. I ain't got no love for Bud no more, man. It's all just drained out and gone. It's out of here.
You get tired of waiting.
Bud Crawford and pound for pound should never be said in my presence. I don't want to hear it. It has no validity in the whole pantheon of boxing.
Got to renew. You got to renew your membership, man.
Now he do.
Yeah, he's got to renew his membership. You can't just be a pound for pound member and not do anything about it. You got to renew that membership every once in a while.
Man, I ain't even gotta say.
Explain to us, who is this guy he supposed to be fighting? Hey, now listen to this. When I sit up here and tell people, hey man, I don't want to hear nothing about Terrence Crawford. Oh man, what you mean? I said, well, who he fought at 47? I give him 35, 30, 35. I even give him 40, even though Danny Garcia took that up for him and cleaned that up and just gave it to him on a silver platter. But hey, at 47, man, this is about to be his fourth fight, right?
Against
140 pounder. And 140 pounder who could not beat the guy that Tank just beat.
Hey, and Bob just keep pulling these guys out the Woolworth, like, man, hey, no Sean Porter, no Keith Thurman. I got somebody for you, bud.
Hey,
man,
and this is 47. This is outside of the heavyweight division, notoriously, generationally, the prestige division
of boxing.
Right? Hey, but you know what? I'm gonna fill it in for y'all now. I'm everybody in the chat. I'm letting you know right now. This is the deal with Bud Crawford. Bob Arum, Bud Crawford. They both know at 47, it ain't what he want. It ain't what he want. They know this already. And if you question me and you think, oh well, I don't know what I'm talking about, the moves, the angles, he switches, he got all. I heard all of that shit before. But at 47, every time a name come up, they smack that motherfucker down. No.
Yeah, he's maxed out. He's beyond maxed out.
I'm not fighting none of them guys. I'll fight Earl because that's the biggest payday before I get the hell out of here. I'll do that. But other than that, I'm a whole list. And I'm going to pick guys from 140. Come on up.
Yeah,
look at me. I'm still the champ. I'm still the champ. About the guys in the top 10. They don't exist. I'm going to keep getting guys out of 140. So you still the 140-pound champ to me. You ain't no 147.
You're the gatekeeper for 40 to 47.
That's it. You the go between.
Hey, wow. Hey,
He is not as good as he is not as good as advertised. He's not.
How much is this guy getting paid to fight Crawford?
Oh, I don't even know. I don't know details.
That's the investigation that we need to do. We need to find out how much this guy is getting paid to fight Crawford. And I guarantee you, bro, man, if it's anything more than $2 million or anything, man, listen, it ought to be some shit, man. It ought to be some shit, man, because
that's a good point.
If it's anything over $2 million, why the hell you ain't offered to Sean Porter? You only offered him $1 million. Why you ain't offered to Keith Thurman? Why you ain't offered to Boost Ennis?
Proven guys. Yeah.
Come on, man.
Gary Russell, 1.5. Gary Russell asked for.
Man.
The man came out.
The guy coming from 26, 28, all the way up to 47.
And he didn't even entertain that. The man went around, told everybody, "I smacked the cowboy shit out you," and he, I'm gonna go down there, break your neck.
He was supposed to call Bob up early in the. Hey, listen, Bob, man, if you don't give this guy Gary Russell 1.5, man, and make this fight happen, I'm about to kill him.
Hey, and the saddest thing is that would have been his best opponent of his career.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is what I'm saying. When people get to talking Bud, I don't want to hear that shit. Bud gets in the ring with Earl Spence, he going to get ran over like a damn lawnmower out here cutting grass. It's not a fight. I don't know. I mean, just look at the concept of it. The things he do well. He move, pot shot you. Pop. Okay, this guy here. Bop, 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 bop. Bop, 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 bop. Bop, bop. Who's going to win?
Yeah.
He's fucking shooting the shit out you. And he don't get tired. He hits everything.
There's a size differential.
Yeah.
Got to talk about the size differential. It's considerable difference in size.
Listen,
there you go.
That's why I say Manny Pacquiao in trouble, man. I just seen a video, man, where Earl Spencer did 700 push-ups after the work, after sparring.
Before the workout. 700 of them. And then workout. I don't want to see the workout.
This knockout Earl right here, man. This knockout Earl right here. Hey, that's why Bud didn't want him, man. That's why Bud didn't want him. Bud talk all that shit in a safe place, man. But
I really don't need to see Manny Pacquiao in this fight. I really don't need. I'm. Truth be told, I'm a little afraid for Manny Pacquiao in this fight.
Hey.
Yeah. I'm more against it now since he didn't get his belt. But if he had that belt, then that was his ass whooping. It was destiny that he get that ass whooping. But since they didn't want to give him the belt back. I mean, what's the point now? Because it's like now he fights him. This is just an off-record fight. And then now he got to go fight this guy again, and then fight another guy again. It'll be 2025 before he's finally undisputed, and he beat and went after for 5, 6, 7 years.
That's sad.
How is boxing allowing this to take this place like this?
That's why it's become a circus. That's exactly why. It's too complicated. We're struggling to follow it, but can you imagine the casuals that are watching?
Yeah, casuals have a hard time.
Hey, I got a question for you. Do y'all think that boxing should come up with its own commission? I mean, we understand that we got the WBC and everything, but maybe a head commission, a head board over boxing.
Well, yeah. So I think there should be. I don't think that the actual organizations themselves should have commissions within them. I feel like you've got a state commission, and then it should be a division for boxing, for combat arts, with a division for boxing, right? And that's it. Take it out of the hands of the organizations and make it an official a state commission, and that's it. There should be no
you wouldn't
the privatized arms of boxing.
Yeah, you wouldn't want it to have like members from each sanctioning body involved as well.
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was thinking. Maybe you have one board, like say you got like the commissioner of basketball, Adam Silver. So you got Adam Silver, and then you got maybe each you got a representative from the WBC, a representative from the WBA, WBO, and IBF, and then I guess Ring Magazine too, if you want to count their little belt too. You have somebody from each representative from there sit at the board too, and they the ones who dictate these title fights.
But do you think that we should even have that many titles?
No. And here's what I like to propose.
No.
Why don't you take all of the veterans that have retired from the sport and get them together in a union where they can vote on whatever is introduced into the sport? Because these are the guys that really gave their all to the sport physically. So if they, because these guys are like, man, I had to do this, that, and these younger guys, they did this. They can keep the sanctity and the element that makes boxing special. They can keep that intact if they are allowed to have a say. Then they earned it. They should be like, hey, wait a minute, we don't really think the WBO should even be recognized.
What about if we just had each state has their state athletic commission, right? And within that, you've got the combat arts division. So you got 50 states plus a national commissioner, and that board should decide versus all of these belts. There should be one belt. I just feel like there should be one belt per region. We can divide up the region however we want, right? North America, Europe, or Eastern Europe, however we divide it up, and then we can unify that way. But I feel like each region should have a belt.
Oh, like in the U.S. or the world or however?
Right.
Okay. And then you can almost have regions versus region champions meet.
Exactly.
And then, work your way up. And then vice versa, go down through your ranking system.
So when you actually become a unified world champion, you've unified all the regions of the world.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, I like that. The only thing that I question and the thing that I worry about is when you have guys that are not boxers but business guys that get in those positions, because now they come in with the business mind and they don't come in with the sanctity of the sport. That's the only thing, because the sanctity is what we want kept intact. So if we can get guys that have been retired and like a Bernard Hopkins in some of those leader positions, then we got a guy that's been through it. Because when you hear the old fighters talk, man, they are big on those things.
Right, right. Because they know what goes into being a fighter. Exactly. They know what's at stake for the fighters themselves.
Exactly.
Businessmen, these promoters, a lot of these business, they don't care. You're just a number. You're just money to them. You're an investment, Exactly,
man. But I like the way, that sounds pretty good, man. That's the only thing. It's just the guys on the top, because the guys on the top, man, when they start thinking other stuff, man, then all of a sudden, here we go, man. What they doing,
Yeah.
Not good, man. Not good, but yeah, man. I like that though in the divisions and because you got a bit of that. Go ahead, bro.
So guess what? So if you got the I guess the African belt or whatever, you got to go fight in Africa to defend that belt. Yeah,
that's right.
That'll be dope. That'll be dope.
Right. If that's your region and that's the belt you want to go collect from that champion,
you gotta go.
And nobody gets to call themselves a world champion until they unify all the regions. Then you are truly the champ of the world.
Wow.
It's ridiculous calling yourself a champ of the world when some of these guys have only ever fought in one part of the world and their resume is only littered with people from this part of the world. How are you a world champion? It's like when I was always that kid though. When I was a kid, I remember asking my parents, how the hell is there a Miss Universe and we the only planet?
Wow, I never thought of that, bro.
I was that kid. Oh, these are the baseball world champions, but we're the only country in the world participating. I was like, come on, man. You're a world champion baseball team, but you're the only ones in the world playing in it.
Yeah. Wow, man, that is amazing. because then it can break down into regions to where you can have like subsections of the region, and then all year everybody's is vying their way up, and
Right.
then the best of each region come up, and then it also adds into fan bases like the Olympics. Olympics
Correct.
does the
You get
same
to
thing.
break it down.
Yeah.
Here in football, we have Eastern Conference, we have a Western Conference. So, we can have a North, South, East, West in the northern United States. It can be as far as north, it's up in Canada to control the northern region. That's included, right? Then you can divide South America. It gives more fighters the opportunity to make money representing their regions
And be seen.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Then it's
And,
time for North and South to fight, and then East and West to fight, and then somebody to unify that northern region. I'm the unified northern, North American champion.
yeah. Hey man, that really promotes the sport, and then it gets to those casuals because now you got a network that's built that's going out,
That's
and
right.
it's not just TV. You could go to your local gym and see advertisements, boxing here.
The unified North American champion against the unified South American champion. The winner is now the Pan American champion, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I like it.
Hey,
I like it.
we need to pitch this to boxing.
Hey.
Become a Pan Asian champ. You can become a Pan American champion. You can become a Pan European champion. You can become Pan African champion, and then you can become a unified regional. You unify these regions. You unify these, and then you become a world champion. You start fighting for world. That way, there's a build up. There's a build up. You fight these eliminators within. I mean, come on, man. There's so much money to be made that way.
Man, it would breed more TV, radio. I mean, social media. I mean, it would just. Oh wow, man!
And even on a local level, if your guy is your state champion, and he's going to fight, against state by state by state, you're going to have followings. Region by region, you're going to have followings. And then then continentally, you're going to have a big following. You're going to take that journey with these guys. It's that's the way it should be to me, man.
Yeah, I like that. That sounds good, bro. That's much better than what we got going now.
Right. I mean, we got it in the Olympics. All these people are coming around. There's only one Olympic gold medalist, one Olympic world champion. If they can do it there, why can't we do it outside?
That's right. Wow, man. That's a good idea.
Wow.
That's a good idea.
So
yeah, I like that, man, for sure. That would clear up a lot of this mess.
A push towards, it'll kill a lot of the corruption, and these countries are going to get behind their champions, right? These regions are going to get behind their champions. Lessens the opportunity for corruption because it becomes a regional thing. So it's nation against nation at that point.
Yep. Sure.
Hey, you know what? You said something earlier that it just hit me too. Cause I'm over here strolling on the internet, and they said that the WBC moved Andy Ruiz up to number 2, right?
There you go.
But and like the WBC put out their top. Well, I guess.
When
40.
was this list put out?
This was it says the June 21st. I mean June 21 list, right? So they got with this list, they got Tyson Fury as the champion, Dylan White as the intern, and then they got their top 40. And you made a good point earlier when I was saying, Wilder is not ranked for the mandatory for these other sanctions, man.
You see?
Listen.
See how it works.
This motherfucker Anthony Joshua, right? I guess he never even signed up for the WBC.
No.
So that's another reason how he can still stay ducking this motherfucker, because he ain't even ranked in the WBC at all.
They can't make him fight him. He's not in my line of opponents.
Damn. So if that ain't a duck, what do you call it? Here he is, this man walking around with every other title but the WBC. And he don't even make himself acceptable to the title.
He should be the main one talking about he want that WBC for Undisputed Act. They always talk about Undisputed Act, but he not trying to push for it.
Isn't it funny too that they know that we know that these other titles aren't as respected as everybody wants a WBC right now. Everyone. So to me, Mauricio Suleiman is not using good sense to make a power move.
Right.
And dominate these other guys and go, look, guys, and really appeal to the fans publicly. We're the only belt that matters. We're the only belt that matters. And stop interim this. You know, you can have the runner-up, call it the interim, but there should be no franchise champ. There should be no regular this or regular. It's either the champ or the interim. Just like Miss America, should the champ fail to be able to perform their duty as champion, the interim steps in and takes the championship belt.
Right.
And you are relieved of your duties and will have to fight for it again.
Right.
I feel like once you become a world champion, you shouldn't have more than 4 months or 6 months that you can fight again. That you can't go longer than fighting past 6 months. That gives you time to get ready for your mandatory and get in shape and all of that. You know, rest from your last fight and start going to work. And if you can't, COVID, whatever, then you get postponed out as far as that 6 months. But after 6 months, that's it.
Yeah, I like that too. That keeps them active. That's only going to improve the quality of the sport too, of what we see. You know, guys fighting more, sharpening their skills. When they get in there, man, everybody's going to be ready. They're going to be at their best.
Because a good training camp is anywhere, depending on what your starting point, 6 to 8 weeks, right? So if I'm giving you 4 months, that's recuperative time. You know, if you got injured in the last fight a little bit, you need to work off a sprain, a strain, a fracture. That's plenty of time. 4 months, fracture's going to heal. If you need a little extra time, you know, they decide, okay, or if you get
within reason.
Right, 6 months. You know, we'll tack on another 60 days, right? After that, if it ain't healing or something, then I'm sorry, you can't just hold up the belts. Right?
Yeah, for sure, man.
True that.
Shout out Michael Johnson in the building, man. Salute to you, good brother. Yeah, Mike, I would send you a link, brother, but I had your email on my last email, but I lost that, and I got to get your contact again, bro. Definitely, man.
Yeah, but these guys, they're hijacking championships, and the organizations are printing them like just printing money. It's not worth it. It's not worth the leather strap it's printed on, man. You know, a franchise champion, give me a break. Give me a break. Stop printing these belts. Stop making this stuff up. Stop making champions. You know,
Red Cliff said champions are not ranked in other sanctioning bodies. It goes for every single division. It's a long-standing rule.
Yeah, we know that. What I was saying earlier was about when Wilder lost. Now he wasn't champ anymore. He should have been automatically ranked in the top 5 of every sanctioning body. at that point. So but I do recognize what you're saying. You're right about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
We've got to get rid of all these belts, and you know what? They've just made a mockery of being a world champ. It doesn't even. It's like an oxymoron. How are you a world champion? How are you a world champion? There's another guy calling himself the champ of the world, and then another guy calling himself the champ of the world, and then 3 or 4 other guys that are saying, "Well, we have fractional pieces of that world." I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Fractional pieces. Yes, sir.
For sure, man. That's something, man. But then, you got a guy like Bud Crawford who's at 47, is supposed to be a 47-pound champion, but he won't fight a 47-pound challenger. I mean, how does that happen? That's the most, that's why I'm I done threw him in the trash. I don't support the guy in any way, shape, or form anymore. I'm done with all that. And and quiet as kept, he's already re-signed with Top Rank once again, everybody. So that's where he's at. God. I'm not even gonna get him like I want to get him, bro.
I wonder if there's a way to legally challenge the precedent of calling these guys, because it is false advertising, right? To a degree. If there's a legal way to challenge calling all of these guys champions, world champions, and we can just call them a WBC champion, an organizational champion, and then create one world champion. So you'd be like Thanos collecting all of those. Instead of there's got to be a way. That's just misleading to the consumer. Oh, I mean, if you approached it honestly, if you approached it from the perspective of, I paid my money to go see a world champion, to go see the world champion, the champ of the world, but I just found out there's another guy this wasn't definitive. I just spent my money to see the world champion, but he's not the world champion. He's unless they want to change it to you are a fractional champion.
Exactly.
But I just don't see why these guys get to call themselves world champion. I am the champ of the world. You are not.
Yeah. And those rankings got to mean something. They can't keep moving them around and manipulating them the way they want at any whim, just like that. Every move in that ranking has to mean something, and it has to be validated by some action. Somebody beat somebody lost to somebody. Now the move is made. It can't be just, well, we're just going to put him in there because he healed from his elbow surgery. I don't know. And all of a sudden now he goes from 9 to 2.
It's funny. I always take people back, and I'll blow their minds with some of the stuff that I've realized in the sport. When we go back, let's go back. You guys saw IBF world champion Zab Judah fight Floyd Mayweather, right?
Yeah.
Who won that fight?
Yeah, they say Floyd won.
Okay. Do you believe Floyd won?
Man, I had my doubts about it. Sometimes, I could see Zab pulling it off, but then sometimes I'm like, nah, I think Zab might have lost that one.
Okay. Did you watch the first 5 rounds of that fight?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Who won the first 5 rounds?
In the 5. Well, I may be a little biased because I was a Zab Judah fan back then, more than Floyd. So I was a little more partial. I was, thinking Zab was doing pretty good.
I thought I had Zab hands down winning the first 5 rounds of that fight. Hands down. He was faster than Floyd. He was landing, slipping, and then there came a knockdown. If your glove touches the canvas, it is a knockdown. They didn't call it.
They didn't rule it. They never ruled it. They never ruled it a knockdown.
Right. But clearly, and they went back to video, his glove touched the canvas. If
right
glove, Floyd's knee would have been on the canvas, right? So, 5 rounds up, plus a 10-8 round for a knockdown. What do you have?
Yeah.
Right?
No way he could have won.
Not only that, Zab came into that fight. They gave him a championship. Look at his last fight. He lost his last fight. So how did they make him a champion for that fight? To give Floyd a championship belt.
Hey, that's that.
Right? Zab had lost. Go back and look. Zab had lost. He had lost his belt. And they made him a champion going into that fight to fight Floyd.
Wow.
Right? So, all of these things, all of this moving and all of these technical things that they're not really technical. It's just a scam. They're printing belts and making champions and seriously, what is a franchise champion? What is the definition of a franchise champion? You would think is the organization of this entertainment company, because that's what they are. They would inform the people that they are entertaining what they're doing. We're making this franchise belt. Well, what does that mean? Educate us.
Exactly.
Here we are at the top of the fan game. We are the pundits of the sport. We're the ones driving the narrative sometimes in the underground. And we can't really clearly explain that. We can't even clearly explain. We know what an interim champion should be by definition, by its namesake, but that's not really how it's been working. So we can't even clearly explain what an interim champion is. Explain to me what a Continental American champion is.
Continental, yeah, man.
the Continental America's champion for the IBF. What is that exactly?
Yeah.
Does that mean that the United States, Canada, and Mexico, and then all of the South American continental, not the Caribbean islands, not Puerto Rico or any of the, but it's funny because there have been Puerto Rican Continental America's champion, but it's not on the continent. It's in the Pan-American region. So none of this makes sense. They're making these things up and they sound great, but they make absolutely no sense.
That's that business mind. Let's turn it into money, and they come up with these things, and then we sit there going,
right?
What the hell is this?
Right.
They keep doing it.
We can't explain it to the casuals, then and they know that they're not as big of fans. Then what's their narrative? Oh, it's a scam.
Exactly.
It's fake. It's just fake. So. And we can't really blame them. It is frustrating, and I do want to throw them out of my house when I invite them over to watch a fight because I don't want to hear it. But at the end of the day, I can't argue. My arguments are invalid.
Exactly. Man, it's something else.
Yes, sir. So, struggle point on that one.
We as fans, we're paying for this. It's. There's got to be a way for us to collectively start demanding that they give us what we're paying for. We're paying to see the best people fight the best people, or the most exciting people fight the most exciting people.
Yeah.
And when we pay for a championship fight, we want to see a world champion. We're not looking to find a fractional champion unless that's what you call it on the way to being a world champion. When we invest in a basketball team, they may be a fractional champion. They may be a division champion. But when they go to play that final game, we're looking for one team.
Yeah. See, and just like we was talking about the Fury situation, all the people lost their money. Why didn't the people that in power over this event not just like, hey, let's figure this out and then let the people know before, because they could have. And I still feel like, man, we don't need to wait till October, man. We should not get out of August. I don't care about all this because honestly, truthfully, people will buy both of those pay-per-views. I'm just sorry, they're going to do it. I mean, they're doing it all the time. If you worried about the zone, the zone is not going to compete with you two guys. It's not happening. Top Rank and ESPN is together on this, and the other one is a PBC affair with Earl and Manny. But whoever's going to buy that is going to buy that anyway.
Exactly.
So it really ain't going to affect nothing. Push that sucker in there August, the first week of August or whatever. He don't need that much time. 2 weeks from now, when fight day come, he gonna already be feeling better already. We don't have to have a whole new fucking training camp just to get ready for this fight.
And I don't know, I don't know that the venue's booked for anything else.
Hey, Vegas is already upset, and they're mad about their money. So Vegas is what do you want from us? We gonna make it happen. So they got them where they want them. All they gotta do is tell them, well, okay, we need this date then if we can do that. What they gonna say? No. You're gonna be hell yeah, come on, hell yeah, shit. Matter of fact, we can have that over. We can have 2 events in the same night.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna hurt nobody neither.
Yeah.
These 2 fights are gonna sell out regardless.
It was just really strange to me that the original tweet that went out from the Fury camp was that someone in the camp, and it came from Fury, someone in the camp tested COVID positive. Then, as the heat came on to find out, well, so what if someone, is that someone Malik Scott? Is that someone just a sparring partner? Who is that someone? Nobody cares about someone. Why should that stop things? Then it became Fury and others. So that was all just shady to me. If he knew he had it, then why didn't he say? I really feel like there should be penalties for this stuff.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Black Star, his battery done went dead. But yeah, you're right. You're right. It definitely should be a penalty for all of this, man. And maybe we don't know. Maybe we can come up with something right some of these boxing sanctions up and tell them how we feel. And I don't know, man. Maybe we might get paid off of this.
Yeah.
Put a change in boxing. Put a change in sport, because like you say, technically they're calling these guys world champions and they're not world champions. Right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, Black Star just fell off. So before we end today's show, what was your thoughts on last night's fight?
I mean, I thought it was a good fight. I thought it was good, solid. It was a good, solid win. Impressed. I'll start with. I was impressed with Estrada. She did her thing. So congrats to her. And then looking at the main event, it was a good, solid fight. It was a closer fight than people thought it would be, I think.
Yeah,
I thought that fight was close.
So what do you want to see from the 135 division next?
Oof, man.
There's a lot of smoke right there, man.
Yeah, and it's funny because at the end of the day, all roads lead to the unified champion of the division, right?
Right.
And then you're looking at right now between 130, from 130 to 130 to 140, there's kind of a mess, because you got guys at 135 that are talking about vacating, guys at 130 that look like they may not be able to make 130 much longer.
True that.
It's tough for me, man. And then where does Ramirez fit in at this point? What's next for Ramirez? Where does he go from here? Because he's not going to get an immediate rematch.
Nah, because Josh Taylor got to go fight his mandatory now, right? He got to be paid to fight Ramirez.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we looking at, really? What does the 135-pound picture look like right now? Then let's add a healthy dose of Mikey Garcia and what the heck he wants to do.
Yeah, because Yeah, they still ain't figured out what Mikey Garcia gonna do.
I
My
don't see Mikey Garcia being able to get past Josh Taylor, and I definitely don't see him going to 140 and doing anything there. I think the same thing that happened at 147 happens at 140. I don't think he gets past a guy like Regis Prograis.
Now I was reading the comment that Mike said while we was talking earlier. He said Zab lost one of his fights, but did lose his belt because of Don King, I guess.
They exactly. See what I mean? They made sure he kept that belt. He should have lost the belt. You lose, right? But Don King made sure that he kept that belt.
That's wild.
Right.
That's wild. That's
So,
wild.
you know, when I look at these things and I look at how this stuff played out, go back when you get a chance, go back and watch that fight. You know, Zab was way too much he's way too fast for Floyd. Way faster than Floyd. And you'll see as the fight changes after the 6th round, 6 on, you'll see that it's not really so much what Floyd was doing, but what Zab stopped doing. Zab changed, and Floyd then took advantage of that for sure. He noticed that and did what he had to do. I mean, but Floyd was in a bad way. Floyd was getting tagged. He was getting touched up nicely for the first 4 or 5 rounds.
Yeah, that's when Zab started hitting with low blows, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure I watch that one again. Yeah, I remember the fight because I remember Zab started hitting with low blows, and then goddamn it, Roger and them got into a fight. Yeah, that was a crazy one. That was a crazy
piled in the ring. It's always funny to me because whenever that happens, they were my trainers, so I don't want to see anybody get in trouble. But I always want to see Yoel if Yoel had to fight, because he's a 5-time world kickboxing champ.
Right.
So I always wanted to see him in action. We would mess around at the gym, but I really wanted to see him in action. And when with Roger, everybody piling the ring, you kind of want to see something go down a little bit.
Yes, sir. I feel you. Hey, let's see. So next weekend we got Charlo.
Yeah, I think he's got his work cut out for him, man. And I don't know. I don't know that I haven't seen much from him, so I don't know if that's good or bad. I hope that means he's been focused and been in the gym doing what he has to do. And I know he and his brother aren't really on speaking terms right now still. So that may be a good thing, because right now his brother's he's in the middle of celebrations and everything, getting past his opponent and starting discussions for what's next for him. I still don't think that he should be at the forefront with Canelo discussion, especially based on this fight. That was a tough opponent, tough, game, awkward opponent. But from what I saw, I just don't think Charlo is on the level of Canelo. I don't think he's, and somewhere during the fight, I feel like Hugo Andrade must have been like, "Come on, somebody call this guy."
Hey, what I don't know what he gonna do. Oh boy, Andre, I don't know what he gonna do.
I think he's his own worst enemy. He gives us the same fight form every time he comes out. He comes out hard. He looks good. It looks like he has the goods, and then he survives and hangs on to the lead that he built to win a close decision.
Hey, now that you saying that, man, he remind me of Swift Hurd now, man. Swift Hurd reminded me he even got into that same boo-boo. He even fell into that boo-boo trap.
Yeah, I think Hurd and Boo Boo need to fight. I think that's where we are with that. I think the minute that Andrade opens his mouth, instead of Canelo, arguing back with him, he should say, "You need to go fight her, and then we'll talk."
Right.
I'm not convinced, based on his last couple performances.
And man, hey, listen, that's not too good of a fight either, man. If Boo Boo can't beat her, then it's because he looked bad his last fight.
He looked real bad that fight. I mean, and you saw the size disparity. He was so much bigger than his opponent, much bigger.
But he had no skill, nothing.
Outworked, outboxed, like a bad version of Winky Wright for a moment.
Man, what the fuck? And I thought, we had a discussion on the show before. I said, man, listen, I thought when his father passed him, he would have came into the ring with way more aggression. Like, man, I'm gonna get this guy up out of here, man.
Yeah.
He did some props. Get this shit over with. But he went out there and he clearly didn't have no game plan with the shit that they was teaching him in the gym. That the jab was not there. It was just he just threw it.
Laid it out there, yeah. If I had to assemble the fighting style that I saw from him, I thought he looked like a poor man's version of Winky Wright crossed with a poor man's version of Shannon Briggs.
Ooh.
That's exactly what he looked like to me out there. And I was just like, just kind of lumbering around. He's trying to roll with some of this, but he's a little bit off. He can't. The jab is just kind of laying and languishing out there a little bit, and he's getting outworked. This guy is out hustling him. The punches he did land, he's heavy-handed. He's a much bigger guy, but this guy is really just working the daylights out of him, dogging him.
Salute to TS Boxing. What's good, brother? Salute. Thanks for coming through. Yes, sir.
I thought that was a bad look for him. I would, and he just disappeared. We haven't heard anything. Hey, were you okay? Did you just lose? Are you back to the drawing board? What's next for you? We still haven't heard anything.
TS Boxing said he agreed with you about Demetrius Andre.
Right? I mean, Andre he gets out there and he stretches out first 3-4 rounds and he looks like a superstar. 5, 6, 7, he's getting outworked. He's holding on. Is one punch here, he's like on a budget. It's like on a budget, and he's kind of budgeting his punch output and how many rounds this guy is actually winning. Can I stay for? And maybe he'll give you something in the 11th round that solidifies the win, but it's that deciding round. It's the same old Andrade every time out. You never see him get out there and just dominate the fight from start to finish. Go to work and just not let the guy in the fight. Just I just don't see that kind of performance from him. To get the kind of hype that he does from some of his fans, I haven't seen it. I don't see anything that warrants that kind of loyalty to Hugo Andrade.
Right.
He is a big question mark. I have an asterisk next to his name, a big asterisk next to his name. I really don't think he needs to be barking up a Canelo tree. I don't think he needs to be, I don't even know that he gets to bark up a Charlo tree. He needs to go ahead and give us a few really impressive performances first. Maybe take Lara out for us. Go remove Lara from the equation. Maybe go remove Danny Jacobs from the equation, and then we can talk.
Right. Meaning knock them guys out.
Yeah.
I'll just beat them.
Lara doesn't need to be here, man.
Hey, no, I don't.
But he is dangerous. I'm not basing that on his fight against what is it, Cornflake?
No.
you know, that knockout.
That was
I don't know what that was, but I did see some good things from him. I just would like to see those things from him against a good opponent.
Yes, sir.
And I think Bubu Andrade is kind of he should be the guy right now taking out the trash.
Taking out the trash, yep. Perfect words.
You know, where's Dan Jacob? What has he done? Why is he still in the mix at all? We haven't seen him doing anything. Take out the trash. If you can do that, you know, then if you can't do that, you know, one of two things is going to happen. It's going to show us why Danny Jacobs should be there, but if not, it shows that you're ready to move to the upper echelon. And the upper echelon first would be Charlo. Then, if you could get past Charlo, then you can talk to Canelo. And I'm sure Canelo would oblige. He may oblige before you even get to Charlo.
Right.
Because strategically, if I were Canelo and you took out Lara and you took out Jacob, I want you next because I want a big money showdown. I don't want anybody to damage that Charlo money. So I'll take you out and I'll make good money off of you, and then I'll make big money off of Charlo. What's he saying here on the screen?
They said Charlo turned down Jacob for the bum. The guy he just fought.
Montiel.
Montiel, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't call Montiel a bum, man. He's awkward. He's a good, solid fighter, man, and
yeah,
carries deceptive, awkward punching power. You know, I think it was a stupid move, though. You're going to take a high risk, lower reward fight like Montiel versus Danny Jacob, who has a name and has a good story, especially here in the United States. And if you're going to fight him here at home, you know, on Juneteenth, that makes more sense. You know, that fight was contested on Juneteenth. You fight him here at home, bring Danny Jacob down, call it, you know, because you guys had words at the Barclays Center in his house. Bring him down to your house, fight him here on Juneteenth. You know.
Yeah, that would have made all sense in the world. I couldn't have been a disagreement with money. I don't know. I don't understand why that.
He feels Danny Jacobs disrespected him a while back, and that's what they're holding on to. These guys need to understand disrespect is the name of the game. You got to earn that respect and earn it in the ring, and it's a business. We're in the business here of getting respect.
Diaz about to say, Montiel is a bum that gave him his all in training camp, and Charlo didn't try his hard. Didn't try that hard. I guess his hardest at all.
I don't know about that. You know, I went to the fight. We sat there, and he looked like he was trying, and Charlo got rocked. He was hurt a couple of times in that fight. You know, and he doesn't get hurt easily. I don't know, man. I think he's really, really deceptive. He's got a weird style. It's just a weird, awkward style. He switches. He makes smooth transitions too, and instead of head movement, he picks those punches off with his gloves and forearms and elbows. Man, it's a weird. You got to see it up close and personal.
Right.
He'll take out a lot of guys like that. I think Andrade would have his hands full with Montiel. And he's long and lanky and rangy, you know.
Yes, sir.
He takes a good shot, even when he got hurt, because Charlo hurt him too. Even when he got hurt, he knew what to do. He knew how to survive. He knew how to catch. He caught Charlo while he was hurt.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so
yeah, he did.
He's a dangerous guy. He's really
good. Yes, sir. Well, we got a great weekend next weekend.
Yeah. Good lineup.
Great lineup.
So, all right. I'm gonna have to jump off here.
Hey, I appreciate you for coming through.
Oh,
hey, if you come through next week, man, and we chop it up again.
All right,
appreciate
my man.
you for coming through, man.
You got Salute. Salute.
All right. Hey, It's your boy Basement, man. I appreciate everybody for coming through. I want to thank the good brother just came through. Hey, coming through. Salute my good brother. Hey, appreciate him for coming through. I want to send a salute to my good brother Black Star Sports TV 2. He came through like he always does, and we chopped it up here on the panel. And I like to give a salute out to everybody in my chat. To the good brother. I'll stay on and chop it up, TS, if you want to. It don't matter. It was just everybody, Black Star, his battery dead. We have been chopping up for like 2.5 hours. We can chop it up. It's up to you. I just want to let me give shout outs to the people that was in the chat. My good brother Mike 202, salute for him and thank you for coming out, good brother. I want to say salute to my good brother Bruce Goals for coming out. And like I say, salute to my good brother Black Star Sports TV 2.0. Go subscribe to my good brother's channel, get his likes up, get his views up. The good brother got good content. That's my brother. Go support him. Good brother Gary Walker, he came through, man. Salute to him. Appreciate you for coming through. La Madrina came through. Thank you for coming through and listening. Appreciate you. Thank you for always coming through every weekend. PGH Big Dog, I appreciate you for coming through and kicking it with us like you do every weekend, man. It's always good to see you, my good brother. Peace and salute to you. Ray Teflon. Hey, this first time I seen you in here. Appreciate you for coming through, brother. Spread the word. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Tell your people to hit the subscribe button. Appreciate you coming through. I look forward to seeing you next week, man. Thanks for coming through. Michael J. Boxing Talk, and more. I appreciate you for coming through, good brother. Like you do. See you next week. Come through. Hey, we got to get you back on the panel, man. Fred Cliff. This is my first time seeing this name on here. Appreciate you for coming through and dropping your opinions on the chat. Come through next week and chill, kick it with us, man. You welcome back. Okay. So, okay. Well, I'm gonna see if they get on. If not, we're gonna end the show. But yeah, I thank them good brothers for coming through, and whoever I missed is watching this show. Thank you for coming through and supporting the good brother Basement Boxing Talk. And we just try to bring you up-to-date content on boxing. You feel me? In our opinion, and try not to be biased about anything. I appreciate this support. Hey, be also on the lookout for the Basement Boxing Talk merch, hats, t-shirts, shorts, cups, and all accessories. Hit me up at Basement Boxing Talk on all social medias. Next week, we'll be discussing, like I said, unification, Charlo versus Castano. That'll be a great big fight. Make sure that you hear. We'll be on here at 2:00 Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, Twitch, Periscope. And this your boy Basement, man. I'm going to end this show. I appreciate everybody for coming through, man. This your boy Basement, man. Yeah, we out. Peace.